104.1 KRBE. Let's get started. It's the Roula and Ryan Show.
Wake up, fool!
Hey, wake up!
It's about to get all stupid up in here!
Right here. Featuring Eric.
Eric, he is a bad, bad man.
Special K.
The big red K.
Are you threatening me?
I'm waiting for you.
And Sam.
I am a wuss! I am a wuss!
You've waited long enough. How the heck do you pronounce this woman's name?
Rula. And Ding Dong. Ryan. 104.1 KRBE.
Good morning.
Good morning, Houston, Texas. I like that. I love twangy twang. I get twangier every time.
Morning,
Houston, Texas. It's Thursday. It's January the 9th. It's 2025 at 6:02 a.m. with the gang. Rula, Ryan, Eric, Special K, and Sam. Happy Thursday. Yay. Friday Eve. I'm very excited for Friday Eve. Although when I woke up this morning, I thought, is it Friday? No.
And tonight's the rodeo announcement.
That's
yes,
right.
7 p.m.
The big
You'll get
lineup's
the
going to be
whole lineup.
revealed of what's going to happen in March. What's the first day this year? February 27th?
It is going to be running March 4th through
wow.
March 23rd.
So 27th, 28th, the week of
Kevin, you're going to be there, right, tonight?
Sure will. Yeah.
Rain or shine.
One of our sponsors is the rodeo, and it is, yes, going to be a little bit dreary this evening. Nonetheless, I will cover that for you. So if you follow me at Radio Special K, or of course at KRBE, we'll have it on both.
Nice.
Yeah,
channels.
you want to see it because they've really stepped up how they do the announcements. You know, long gone are the days where you just show up in the hallway upstairs of Energy Center and they just post a paper.
We
Is
make
that how
everything.
it
We
first
make
was?
everything an event here.
Well,
Oh
Kevin-
my God, no, now it is like an event.
Kevin,
Last
they
year,
have-
the video you had, you were in the stadium like there was a halftime show happening.
It was pretty cool.
Some shrimp.
Yeah, with the shrimp boat. Now, this time it's going to be in the NRG Center.
Can you clarify? It's not an actual shrimping boat that's in the water.
Is that
It's a
bubble gum?
boat of shrimp
Bubble
like
gum.
you'd see at Benihana.
Yes.
Now, when you
It's like
say
a buffet
NRG Center, is that where we have like the Nutcracker? Which one is
Exactly.
that? Okay.
Yes.
It's upstairs, right? Or where's they
you
gonna
know,
do
it looks like we're in Section A
Okay.
today.
Downstairs.
They move it around every year.
Last year you were in the stadium. Didn't they use the big screen or
They
something?
did. They
That was
did. It was
cool.
pretty cool. There must be something going on up in there, and maybe that cost too much.
Is there a truck show or something? Or that monster trucks or something?
Monster
Don't
truck.
They usually do that in January.
Right. Possibly.
The rodeo. No, that's Toyota Center.
Oh, wait,
Never
what's the
mind.
Monster Truck Jam? Is it the really loud
Monster
one where you need
Jam.
the headphones?
Yeah.
Yes.
Gravedigger.
At the Golden Globes,
It's fun.
you know, they were doing those little fun facts of people when they would win or they were nominated. Some movie, I don't know what it was. It was, some movie you guys have watched on Netflix. The people who created that and got the Golden Globe, it said the three of them were in the car going to Monster Jam when they had the idea for this project. And I don't remember which movie it was, but it was one of
If
the
you've
big ones.
never been, it is a lot of fun, but it is so loud. Have earplugs for the little kids.
You have to have
because
ear covers.
it's like loud on a different
I had
level.
the worst headache ever after ever going to that. The worst headache ever because I
It is
didn't.
intense.
I was like, oh, my ears. I didn't know the engine's going to be so loud.
Do we know anybody? I would love to be a passenger in one of those things. Just when they do the big jumps on the
For
ramps.
liability,
Y'all
I
can
don't
get a
think you're
truck.
allowed.
I mean, some morning people
So
have
fun.
their own truck.
Yeah, that's true.
There's one right here on
that's
Gessner.
nice.
Y'all,
There is right over
you
here.
seen it?
Yeah.
There is a house on Gessner, and it has,
He has, like,
all
a
these
skeleton
giant
in
vehicles,
it,
and he has a
normally.
monster truck in the
Yeah, he always
driveway.
has those.
does.
There's got to be some kind of HOA deed
Just
restriction.
knock on his door. Hello.
Why would there be an HOA deed restriction
Like
on
you
the kind
can't
of car you
have
have?
in certain neighborhoods. There's no way you can have like a truck that's 20 feet high.
I can't tell you about that.
No
They can
offense
just
in
tell
that
you.
neighborhood. I
You
want
want to come on down here?
Yeah,
They
come
just
Tell
tell
me
you
to my face.
if you don't move it. Like if it's stuck in the same.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if it's on the grass.
Yeah.
No, but Eric's right. You have to move a vehicle every couple weeks or something
Yeah.
like that in order for it to be deemed a running vehicle. Otherwise, it's like
Then you get in trouble.
yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know
Otherwise,
how lucky
sitting
we have
around.
it. My daughter lives in Los Angeles, and every morning she's got to move her car to the other side of the road
Because of the
Why?
fire.
No, not because of the fire.
I was going to say, because
although
the fires?
I was really nervous. It's about the garbage pickup. Like every other day, your car has to be on a different side of the street. Like on one day, say it's like Thursday.
So then why don't you just park there the night before and not have to get up and move it?
Well, she does. I mean, she'll do it like the night before,
You
like
have to
right before she
remember.
goes to
But you
bed. You
still
got to
have to move
remember to
it.
do it because you can't have any cars parked on one side of the street. The
Like
worst
that's
garbage
how
day.
Worse
Miami
when it
was. It was
snows.
so annoying.
Yeah.
Wait, does
Snows, your
Westview-
car's stuck there. And
They plow it
they
in.
plow it. You're just, where's my car? Oh, it's that big white
Oh, wow.
boulder.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that.
He digs
Doesn't
out.
Westview have some real stringent parking rules on the street? Even when you're going to go visit your friend who lives in their house, something about parking on the street.
Yeah, if your car's not 2020 and above, they
I guess. I just remember there was something
Westview.
that I had heard about Westview was really strict.
Oh, so is Montrose. They
Oh,
have
are
signs
they?
that say resident parking only. You must have a permit.
Okay.
I hate when you're driving down like Montrose or other areas, and then the people just parked on the street. So
Yeah.
there's 2 lanes. No, so you gotta
yeah.
you gotta get over one. Like they're going looking for antiques.
Yeah. Yeah.
It seems dangerous,
Yeah,
too.
Lower West
2
Timer.
lanes. How is it in
No,
Westheimer?
one lane is totally shut down because of the antiquers.
Oh, we're going to make the road a parking lot.
I hate that. But
Okay, so
no choice,
Legal.
I guess.
Yeah, it's
Y'all, I had, and I know Eric hates dream talk more than anything, but I had a dream, and I remembered this song when I was a little kid because it was really cold, and I was shivering, and I didn't have the covers on last night. And then I remembered when I was a kid, I was, just like Roll always says, we got to Houston as soon as we could. But when I was a little kid, I was born in a town called Montoursville, Pennsylvania. So every summer we would have, it was like the neighborhood fair, like a festival where they had small rides.
Hornswoggle?
Yeah, it was really.
Hornswoggle.
This was like old
Cakewalk.
1950s type style, sitcom-y type neighborhood.
Like the much
And
Wonder Years.
Yeah.
That show back in the day.
very much
Did
so.
that feel to it? 70s.
Very much so. And we had a thing called a cakewalk. Have you ever done that?
I know.
Yes,
I was making a joke
definitely.
about cakewalks.
Yeah, isn't it like musical chairs, but you pick up a cake?
Yes.
Yep.
Right.
So I won in the cakewalk, but I remember winning a prize, and it was a box of these old records. Some old lady donated them, and these were
You
like,
didn't win a cake?
no, I got a cake, but they also had like, different prizes. Like I remember like winning like this German chocolate cake. It was delicious, but.
Oh, wait, where's the dream part? You didn't dream
So
this.
in my dream, I was remembering one of those
okay.
records because imagine me being a destructive kid. There were
Shocker.
old, goofy, horrible records from like the 1940s or something. And I was like, what is this crap? I was like, this is horrible. And my brother and I would use them as Frisbees when we broke them. But I remember this one record, and we used to laugh how stupid it was when we were kids.
And the song came into your head, and
And the song popped into my head, and I looked it up on YouTube, and sure enough, somebody had this little record, and it was about the weather, the Icicle Man. Wait a second.
The icicle man had a frozen nose. Ooh, it's cold. It's cold. He had ice all over his clothes. Ooh, it's cold. It's cold. He was frozen half to death. Ooh, it's cold. It's cold. And he couldn't get his breath. Oh, the
How did people find this entertaining?
It's like a shanty. What's that thing that we read?
Yeah.
Oh, there once was a man.
That's enough.
That was something you'd use in a scary movie.
Yeah, because of the
Like
crackling
the
of the
icicle killer. He kills you with an icicle.
The icicle.
Oh,
yeah.
no evidence. It melts.
Yeah.
Wasn't that
The
an
Icicle
Edgar Allan
Man.
Poe story where they killed somebody with a frozen leg of lamb, and then he served it to the police when they're investigating?
And
so
the
they ate
evidence?
the evidence.
Oh, God.
No, that was in Fried Green Tomatoes, where this guy who was an abusive husband wanted to try and kill his wife, and the cops came looking for him. They go, "Secret's in the sauce.
Oh.
Secret in the sauce." About the barbecue.
And I know,
That's
Eric, you
crazy.
like those 80s horror films. What was it? Motel Hell?
Oh, yeah. They're so
Farmer
cheesy in
Fritters,
the 80s.
Critters?
It's funny talking about icicles. When I lived in Chicago, we'd have to be careful. They'd have cones on the sidewalk on Magnificent Mile area. If you've ever been to Chicago, like Nordstrom, these huge icicles would build up on top, and they'd kill the guy once.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my gosh.
They'd just be
You're
falling.
falling straight down.
Eric, I
That's
learned that from a
crazy.
Christmas story.
Good Lord.
I learned that from a Christmas story
Yeah.
where she goes, "Ralphie, those icicles have been known to kill people."
It's true.
Yeah, because
they
they're
build up,
so big.
they're so big.
They
and
are
it
massive.
falls off those
Yeah, that's
those
true.
buildings are so high.
Is it the
I never
apocalypse?
thought
But
about
they're
that.
not the skyscraper ones because they're too high.
Sure, but
The ones that are
for
like-
2 or 3 stories, yeah, I can see how that could stab somebody on the way down.
So I was like, what are these cones here for? Like, nope, walk around.
They know what they're talking about. But here I am. I wake up and then I Google this. You ever go down to YouTube well and you're like, I wonder what this would be worth? And those little records would be worth like the box I won would be worth thousands of dollars now.
So you probably drove
And as
yourself
an
nuts.
idiot kid, I broke them all.
But everyone would do that. Think about all the toys anyone had in the 80s or
Uh-huh.
90s or 70s.
And like if you
50s?
not
If you
open
hung
it,
on to
if
that
you-
stuff,
Comic books or people that took their baseball cards and they put them on their spokes to make it sound like a motorcycle.
like you.
oh yeah.
Yeah, and then you realize, oh my God, that card could have been worth $500.
Yeah, and those cards do end up making you money. My husband was a collector of stuff. I mean, collects
he still
small
have 'em?
things. He had a Michael Jordan rookie card that we sold, and
Didn't that pay for
it was
fix the bathroom or something?
It was supposed to pay for a new bathroom, but it just ended up going towards paying for the lawyers for the house lawsuit.
Put your
Oh my
lawsuit-
God.
I was so excited when he sold it. I go, "Oh my God, it went for how much? We're gonna fix our bathroom!" Oh, we're suing our home builder. Great.
Boy,
All right.
adulting sucks, doesn't
Adulting sucks.
It does.
All right. You might think it's the apocalypse because one side of the country is being beaten to death by blizzards, and in California is being engulfed by wildfires. And there are so many celebrities who have their houses have been totally incinerated. One that I met at Super Bowl a few years ago, and we have stayed in touch and been friendly ever since then. I posted yesterday afternoon. Devastated in tears, living in a hotel, everything she's ever known in her life, and all of her history is just burned up. So we'll talk about these California wildfires coming up next. Here's your official weather for today. It's going to be raining here.
It's not going to be icicle, man. It's going to be wet and cold, though. It's going to be raining throughout the day. It looks like a high around 47. Right now, it's 40 degrees and 612 on the Roula and Ryan Show.
Listen, get ready. This is Roula and Ryan's Celebrity Scoop.
KRBE.
It is brought to you by Taquerias Arrandas. And in case you haven't paid attention to the news, I mean, our country is being blanketed by snow blizzards on one half of the side. We're going to get all this crazy rain here in Houston. And in California, there are so many people suffering and losing everything they've ever known to these California wildfires. Wildfires break out all the time. I don't really know the source every single time. Texas has wildfires. California is notorious for their wildfires, but this one is in Pacific Palisades. I remember when there was a Fox TV show called Pacific Palisades.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think Aaron Spelling did it or something.
That is a wealthy area.
And a lot of celebrities live there. And, the Golden Globes just happened last Sunday. And Leighton Meester and Adam Brody were on the red carpet. And I was seeing that on Instagram a lot, how he was pulling her into his pictures. Well, their whole house is nothing. Rubble and ashes now. Like, not even a week later. They had no idea their house was getting inflamed and engulfed in flames.
And this all started from somebody having a barbecue or something?
I don't know
in
the
their backyard?
source.
There's 5 fires.
Yeah.
So, maybe one of them started that way, but how the heck?
Wind kicked it up. And
The wind has been like hurricane force and is blowing all those embers everywhere and catching everything on fire. Now Hollywood's on fire too.
And you can really tell. I was, I didn't know enough about it, but I was worried. First instinct is my daughter lives in the Hollywood Hills, and I called her and didn't answer. And then I really start like, oh my God, what's going on? And finally she's like, Dad, I'm okay. But she did say that, you can see it in the air everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure.
Well, I have cousins that live in California. We've been checking in on them, and they said they're just keeping watch because they can see it behind their houses. It's so close. And all these different celebrities, some you haven't even heard from in so long, like Spencer Pratt and Heidi Montag from The Hills. A couple days ago, he was on Instagram showing where it was behind them. He's like, I don't know, we're just trying to watch it. Well, no, it's gone now. Incinerated. Their house is gone. In 2017, when the Super Bowl was here, TV Network's Sandra Lee and I became very friendly. We did lots of events together, and I always keep track of her. And she posted that she's living in a hotel, and she was devastated. She could not stop crying. Everything is gone. Everything is gone. All of her.
Your home.
Everything is gone.
Is your
I
sanctuary.
know people could say, oh, well, you're safe, but still, it's
a lifetime of memories.
people,
That's,
91-year-old people. I saw 91-year-old guys, my whole life.
yeah.
Lived there. He's like, I'm going to just have to rebuild.
Yes,
Think
there's
how
a
traumatic-
91-year-old man's audio I heard on the news, and he said, yeah, that's what you're talking about, right? 91. He goes, I got nothing, but I guess I'll start again.
think
At
about,
91, terrible. Listen, here's a list of celebrities that have lost their homes. Eugene Levy, John Goodman, Anthony Hopkins, Billy Crystal and his wife, their house of 46 years. I already mentioned Adam Brody and Leighton Meester, Anna Faris, Paris Hilton. Her house was in Malibu. I mentioned Sandra Lee, Spencer Pratt, Heidi Montag, Ricky Lake, Matthew Perry's house where he drowned. It was just
the guy
bought for
that
$8.5 million. It's incinerated.
Wow.
James Woods, Mark Hamill, Cameron Matheson, Maria Shriver, Mandy Moore, Ben Affleck's $20 million home that he just recently bought post-divorce from J-Lo. He had to evacuate, so he's at Jennifer Gardner's house. Her neighborhood has not been told to evacuate yet. Let's see who else. Ashton Kutcher was watering plants at his friend's property in an attempt to keep the fire from spreading. James Woods was a big 90s and 80s and 90s star. He was in Casino. He was in all these different movies. He broke down in tears on TV talking to CNN about the loss of his home for his whole life, and his little granddaughter had brought her piggy bank over, saying, "Well, here you can use my money, help rebuild your house." Jamie Lee Curtis, Miles Teller, Carrie Elways, from Princess Bride.
Wesley.
It's a lot. The premieres for movies like Unstoppable and The Wolfman have been canceled. Production on lots of TV shows have been halted. The Palisades Charter High School used in movies like Carrie and Freaky Friday burned down.
Oh, wow.
There's a lot. Corey Feldman, who was a huge star in the 80s and 90s, who's had a really rough go with Hollywood from being a child star to now. Some people don't give him a lot of credit for some of the things he said, and others are like, oh, wow, Corey Feldman really knew about the dirty people in Hollywood. He said, my heart goes out to all the innocent lives that have been lost and will be lost, and to the good people who will lose everything and that don't deserve this, though some, karma may be at play.
Oh, man.
Oh my gosh.
Did you see the ABC anchor, what's his name, David Muir?
Yeah.
What a tool.
ABC
What'd he
World
do?
News.
He's out there and he turns. He's got his fire jacket on. And he turns to the left, and you see in the back he has a clothespin on it.
Oh, to
Make it
look
tight so
tighter?
he can show off his body.
Are you serious?
What a D-bag. Go ahead
Special K's
and
looking at you like, that's a good idea.
just wear the thing. Go look online. You Google it right now. David
All right.
Muir. What's those?
Because they'll
this
probably do
guy.
some special
He probably had
tonight where he's like
People spraying in his hair, get his hair all perfect.
the clothespin. That's funny that you noticed that.
There it is.
It went viral. I didn't notice it until someone told me.
ABC's narcissistic
Yes.
David Muir roasted for sprucing up his svelte look while reporting the fire.
He turned to the back and he did.
That's crazy.
douche.
Well, I want you to hear the audio of James Woods because this is when he's talking to Anderson Cooper about the fires and where he got emotional. Here's part of his interview.
Our beautiful little house, you know, it's like we've been in a hotel all through COVID. This lovely hotel, people are so great. Take care of us yesterday, and we were fixing our house, and we finally had it done, and we were swimming every day, and my blood pressure was going down, and you know, and if you ever saw the views from that house before this fire, they were just, you know, it was. I posted it today on X. It was paradise, and our neighbors are, you know, we knew them all, and you know, now it's all. I posted this on X, but Sarah was on with her 8-year-old niece last night. She came out. I'm sorry. Just, you know, one day you're swimming in the pool, and the next day it's all gone. But she came out with her little Yeti piggy bank for us to rebuild our house.
That's rough.
Yeah.
It's rough. So, and these are just the people that we know because they're famous. There are plenty of people that live around them that are not famous people who have totally been devastated.
It's almost like you don't. Like, imagine if you're the only house that made it.
That
Yeah.
survived.
Because there's views of like thousands of houses gone, and you're the only house.
Who's the house
Like-
from Hurricane
like the
Ike
hurricane-
in that
I was thinking
iconic
hurricane.
picture? I don't know if it was on the West End. I don't know if it was Crystal Beach. There was an iconic picture of Hurricane Ike 2008 where every single thing around it was washed away, but this 1/3 row house survived Ike.
In a way, for that,
Whose
you're
house
almost like,
was that?
take it down so then, because everyone's going to be building.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
I always think of that iconic picture from Ike, that one lone house. What was there for that one house that stayed and everything else was just earth around it? It was crazy.
Every time I see those houses out on East Beach, I think to myself, God, they're going to be the first to go. But
Yeah,
they're also like 12 feet in the air, and they were built for hurricanes.
Right.
So
Don't you feel like you're kind of rolling the dice?
I think it's rolling the dice because the other thing is with sea level rising. I mean, you could have you might need a boat to get to your house.
That's true. That's
Pretty
true.
soon.
All right. Coming up next, we want to open up the phone lines at 833-390-KRBE. Over the holidays, a lot of people got engaged. And, you know, now they're going to be in the planning storm. It's like a storm because it's so highs and lows of the storm of the
Yep.
planning, right? Because you're going to have drama and people are going to be, you know, slighted and you don't realize you slighted them. And then you might have an argument and all these things. Okay, if you are married and you've been in a relationship for a long time, or maybe it didn't work out, but you went through the whole planning process, what is something you could tell a newly engaged couple who's living that high of engagement bliss? What reality check do you want them to have just so they can keep it their
So they're not
head on
married
straight?
yet?
So they're
They're not
grounded.
Yeah, so they're grounded. They're
They're
not
not
married
newlyweds?
yet.
They're about to
They're
be.
not newlyweds. They're in that high of we're engaged. What do you think they need to know before they get married?
I'll give you one. Not right now, but
390-KRBE. We'll
What,
talk
not
to you.
to do?
Yeah, not to. We'll talk to you next on the Roula and Ryan Show.
Back to Roula and Ryan.
Okay, my friends, it is a new year. It is January, and a lot of people got engaged over the holiday season, whether it was around Thanksgiving, somewhere between November 1st and December 31st.
Christmas, New Year's.
Somebody got
All the way
some
up to
blame.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah, somebody put a ring on it.
It's going to happen.
So really want to open the phones at 833-390-KRBE. What would be your advice to an engaged couple to know what's coming at them, keep them grounded?
I can tell
know,
you right off the bat, be patient. Be patient because the number one thing that people will bombard you with, when's the big date? When's it going to be? Where's it at? Who's coming? And you just got to be patient.
But my thing is, does that Are we talking about more like the couples? Like that doesn't really, like that doesn't really affect.
Right,
like,
we're talking about between
I'm thinking
the
like
two of
two
them.
people that could really screw you up.
Like right now, you're engaged
You should know
and
your
you're in that
finances.
high. But guess what? Y'all have even talked about. Oh well, I need my grandma's pastor from blah 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 to come make sure they're officiating the
I
wedding.
hear ya.
And the other one's like, "What are you talking about? We're getting married under intent. There's not going to be an officiant. It's going to be like my cousin who got internet ordained."
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
y'all need to talk about real life stuff.
Yeah.
So
I was going to say one thing that I learned is to not just hear what your partner says, but listen to it.
Yes.
And,
Amen.
And commit it to memory, for God's sake.
You might as well get it on a canvas. And then mine, real quick, is if you have issues in your relationship, it could be the smallest things. Just because you get engaged and you're like, look at the new shiny thing here, it doesn't go away. And then when you get married, it still doesn't go away. So if you still have those issues, because I know people from my college got married and they still had those issues and it did not work because you never resolved the issues. Just because of this new shiny thing doesn't mean it's going to fix it. Or people having babies, they're like, oh, well, we have this. No, you still need to fix
That
the
is so
base
wise.
of your relationship.
my
so spot
advice
on.
is focus on the actual point that you are that there is a marriage the day after the wedding.
Yeah.
It's not just about like, oh my God, it's such a high to plan this wedding. And I'm a bride, I'm a groom. Oh my God, this is so fun. We have these parties. We're going to have bachelorette, bachelor, blah, blah, blah. Guess what? The day after the wedding, you're married.
Yeah.
It is a marriage.
Party's over.
It's
Life
about
begins.
the marriage,
It is.
not the build up.
It's like planning a vacation, the high of the vacation.
Right.
And then as soon as the vacation's over, you're like, oh, well, we did all that planning and now it's done.
I'm like, what are we going to do now?
That's kind of how
Well,
marriage is.
well, now
But
you're
you're
going
so
to live
right,
together
Sam.
forever.
I mean, people distract themselves from the real problem.
This texter
Yeah.
says 37530 for the newlyweds. He's still going to chew that way in 20 years.
Oh, that was Booster's number. Look at
That was.
Adam is up first
Damn.
at 833-390 KRVE. Hi, Adam. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, y'all.
Hey, Adam, what's your piece of advice?
Yeah, me and my wife got married when we were 22, and we've been married for 17 years.
Sweet.
Wow.
And
awesome.
yeah, and my best piece of advice would be to always give to one another. Don't ever take from each other, but always give to each other in every aspect of your relationship.
Now, can you give me an example
Yeah, I
of
need
that?
to-
Yeah.
If I'm
Example.
newly engaged, I have no idea what you're talking about.
What's a give?
It's in conversations and everyday life and around the house and stuff. It's if you see something that needs to be done around the house, just do it. Do
Yeah.
it for her.
You didn't marry a
or
maid.
if-
Right.
You didn't want just because your mom did your laundry and all that stuff, and then you get married and you're 22. You think, oh, I'm married, she'll do my laundry. No.
No, that's caveman thinking. And be present, you know?
Yeah, give. That's good, Adam.
17 years, good job, man.
17 years, especially because you know our philosophy. We feel like, oh yeah, we got married 22. Huh?
Our show, we recommend hire like 28.
Yeah, just 29 a little bit. 27.
But
That's fun.
There's
Adam,
no-
thanks so
you've
much for
beaten
listening
the
to the
odds.
show.
Let's just
Have
say
a great
that.
day. Take care, honey.
well, any marriage
Thank y'all.
Thanks.
last
bye.
that long, you beat the odds.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure. Anne's up next at 833-390 KRBE. Good morning, Anne. What is your piece of advice for people who are newly engaged about what they need to look ahead to?
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
So my advice is definitely before you marry this person, you've got to understand, like, this is going to be your person. You no longer have all of your, family and everything else to lean on. This is through good and through bad. They're going to be the person you go to when things get tough. And so you got to make sure that person and yourself is ready to take on that role of being a caregiver to somebody if something goes wrong in their part of their life, or they're able to help and protect you if you have something going on in your life.
That's great.
That's
Yep.
true. You're a
Spot
person.
on.
I almost feel like we need a checklist of like things you need to talk to each other about. Like, okay, who's going to do the finances, or both of us? Where we're going to live?
Yeah.
Religion.
Well,
Maybe you have
kids.
two different religions.
Yes.
Kids.
How are you going to raise them?
Yes.
Do you want private school, public school? You want this, that?
I feel like the kid thing comes up a lot because there are a lot of people, shockingly, I feel like this is a shocking factor. They are engaged, and one of them still doesn't know if they're on board for kids, and the other one doesn't deep dive it like, okay, we really didn't know this.
How do you not
want
have
kids or
that
not?
conversation?
Because do you know that will destroy you?
That would.
If the one wants kids, it's like, I told you I wasn't into kids.
Like, that's a deal
Or
breaker.
you have one, and
Yes.
it's so tough in the newborn stage. It's so tough in that first year, and that person's like, I told you I didn't want kids anyway.
That'd be bad.
Do you not think that
Horrible, right?
it's
Oh, yeah.
really bad when people think that, oh, I can change their mind down the line? No, you can't think that way. Hear them and what their goals are right from the get-go.
But I'm not the same as I was at 22.
Nobody is.
23 when I got married the first time. I'm not the same as I was when I got divorced at 27.
Absolutely.
But if you think,
I
give it
didn't
enough
want
time.
kids, and then at 27 you do. So, I mean, I could.
But that's so rare, Eric. I would not want to put my bets on that.
Me neither.
No.
Me neither.
Because when
can't live life
I
that
started
way.
dating Mark, he told me that he did not want to get married because he came from a divorced family. And I was like, I don't know if I could be with this guy.
Right, listen to him.
But
He's telling you the truth.
But sometimes
Because-
we say that, though, just say because we think that, but they don't see. Because they just see the bad parts of.
Yeah, and
they see
I
the
was
bad
like,
parts
because
of
I always,
relationships.
like, I was raised, my parents are married. I was raised, you get married, you have kids. That's how life is. And so I was like, well, that's what I'm having. Like, if you're not going to do that, then.
At what point
give
in
me
the dating timeline did he tell you that?
He told me that early on in the relationship.
So
that
then how
he
long did
didn't-
you hang in before he said he changed? Like, how'd you stay then?
It probably took like a full year for me to realize that like we were really serious. That this wasn't just a
Did you
normal.
think-
What about him,
In
though?
the back of your mind?
When did he change his mind?
Oh, like a year in. I think a year in is when
But
he
see,
like.
he found love. He's like, this
Yeah,
is what
and
love
he
is.
was like,
Sam,
okay,
did
I
you
don't want to
think-
not have her.
Did you think all along, like, oh, I'll change his mind. He'll want to marry me.
No, I mean I was just having some fun.
Yeah.
Well,
it's
also,
like,
y'all were
you were young in
Listen,
college.
if you met Mark at 33 and he told you that, you're wasting a year to wait to see if he says he wants to get married.
I think 30s and 40s is different.
I feel like when somebody tells
absolutely.
you something, believe them.
Yeah, I was dating Mark when I was 20.
20s, I don't think it counts.
No.
I
Once you're
told
in your
boosters
30s and up.
that I
That's
wasn't going to do it.
But that's because you're seasoned
And you
now.
almost did. You tried.
I tried for 20 years.
Yeah, you tried not to.
He was the
Finally
only
doing
gay
it.
guy I saw protesting the gay marriage.
And then Kev's like, oh, it's cool now. We're still not getting married.
Listen, Jody's phone is really loud, but I'm going to tell you what Jody wanted to say. And this is a great statement. If it annoys you right now, it will annoy you after marriage.
Yeah, it'll
To
be
that
amplified.
texter's point, that chewing ain't going to get any better in 20 years.
That was hilarious.
But how do you tell them about the chewing? Like, I guess they just have to get used to not chewing that way.
I mean,
Like, if they're doing it 20 years, you can't stop them, right?
yeah,
it's a
there's
habit.
just certain things that are not going to
Just
try
try and put your mind on something else.
Yeah, let's
Pick on.
Like just watch TV louder.
Or
you know what I mean?
You
Like
can actually say to them, because
don't
it
look at
might
them.
not just be
Just
annoying
don't look at
to
'em.
you, it could be to everybody. I mean, everybody's heard a loud chewer. It's like, oh my God, that person's chewing. You might want to somehow figure out, tell them, you know what? When we're out and you're eating, it's very loud. Like,
I would not want to
Or
have
like
that
Kevin over
conversation.
here, he's
Figure
very
out how to-
messy. That's a
Oh,
good idea.
yeah.
One of those garbage bags. to put
He
over-
gets more on
Kevin,
him than
you
in
are a
him.
messy
Yeah, but how are you
eater.
going to bring that to his attention?
You guys say,
He's
eat
not going
meat.
to change.
Kevin, you're
I said,
very
my kids,
messy.
eat meat. Why is
You're
there
allowed-
yogurt all over your face? There's
You're
chocolate
allowed-
on your nose.
you're allowed
Don't you think you guys
There's
like?
pizza sauce on your cheeks.
That's why we have the best stain remover that Procter and Gamble makes.
You have a stain stick with you?
Yeah.
I literally have a
I knew
stain
it.
stick that he put in my bag.
Oh my God!
For obvious reasons.
Yeah, the Tide stick.
Yeah, the
'Cause
Tide
I'm a
stick.
But
mess.
when you go into this, remember it's a choice, and you've got to do that little mental checklist, that inventory. Like, are these things that I can live with?
Well, here's a couple checklists before we move on to the news. I'm going to you marry the family too, says Lan. Communication, patience, teamwork. Think of those 3 words. Make sure you see them go through a hard time. See how they react. Your body won't look the same.
It's true.
Yeah. And there's a book called The 500 Questions to Ask Before Marriage. Look into
Oh
that.
wow, the 500.
That's a lot of
questions.
questions.
Oh man, I'm
Let's
tuning
Google
out right
that.
there. 500 questions.
Hey, get
That's
through
a lot of
100.
reading.
Get through 25, and if you want to bail out, maybe it's not the
But you
person
do it every
for you.
night. Do like 10 of them.
Yeah.
Have a glass of
Yeah.
wine on a weekend. And
Yeah, you can
can
Google
as long
it.
as it doesn't feel like homework.
So
or
good luck,
argument.
newlyweds.
Every time you answer a question, you take off some clothing.
Oh, a reward system.
How many layers are we wearing?
Pay attention to the question.
It's Roula and Ryan Show to tell you what's
engage
going
people.
down in H-Town.
Okay, I don't know if you've seen this. It's been on all the news channels. The Texas Medical Board suspended a Houston urologist's medical license after he showed signs of impairment right before a surgery, and then he tested positive for cocaine. Dr. Nathan Robert Stark is temporarily barred from practicing medicine following the incident, which actually occurred last year while he was a physician at Houston Methodist Urology Associates. Now, a Houston Methodist spokesperson confirmed that Stark is no longer employed by the hospital, but said that the hospital could not offer any additional comment. I don't know about y'all, but I don't want a doctor all hopped up on blow and he's about ready to operate on my wee-wee.
No.
That sounds bad.
No.
But Methodist otherwise is really good.
Hey, look, they took the proper, steps and addressed the problem. It's
Well,
almost
that guy got his surgery for free.
Oh,
The guy that was
right.
working on it.
Whoever stopped him from going in on that
Well, they
patient,
stopped him before the
I don't know
surgery.
what happened to the patient. Like,
I'd
you can't
still
do
be
your
like,
surgery. We're
yeah,
going to wake you up.
Yeah, they're about to
Why?
cancel because
Yes.
another guy.
And their surgeon
I'm
just stepped
sorry,
in?
sir.
Yeah.
Or
Your
was he already
doctor's on
asleep?
blow.
And then they're like, "Oh,
What do we
had
do
to
now?"
have somebody else operate on you." You wake up and it was another doctor that operated on you, and they're like, "Oh, I guess that's okay. Why? Oh, wait, there was a medical emergency with your doctor. It's called cocaine.
It's called cocaine.
High on cocaine. Wow, that's
All right,
crazy.
you know, it's almost rodeo time, so tonight is the night, 7 p.m. We're going to find out which acts hit the stage at NRG Stadium.
Follow KRBE on social media, Ryan, because Special K will be out there, and I'm sure Irvin will be with you like last year, and you guys will be making all the announcements right when they happen, so you'll find out right away.
Yep, the rodeo is going to be March 4th through the 23rd. Kevin, any predictions?
You know, I think maybe this year they will bring in a K-pop group.
Did they do it last year?
I thought they did.
Did they bring in a K-pop group last year? I don't remember. I don't remember if they did or not. But you know, they've been having DJs, and I feel like they might be past that now.
Are they going to do another Houston takeover with Bun B? I mean, I feel like
Who
they've
else
done
they got
every.
left?
They've taken over
Because they did the Southern takeover,
Yeah.
the
world.
Houston takeover.
They've done everything. Is there
Let's
anything
see what
left?
they do. It was Karma Crew performed at the Livestock Show and Rodeo in 2022. K-pop.
K-pop was
Karma Crew with
okay.
Ks.
So then I think that they will continue that because it did pretty well.
All right, let's see what happens tonight on KRBE social media. The rodeo lineup gets announced. Now, coming up next is the first Roula and Ryan's Roses of 2025, because unfortunately, cheating never quits. Doesn't know a holiday, doesn't take a vacation. And if you are having bad feelings about your relationship and you're thinking something's not right, we get to the bottom of it for you next on the Roula and Ryan Show.